Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A for today as we have the premiere for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 3, The Cell, tonight. This one we're going to start with me giving my thoughts on Stephen Oak's character, Simon. Full in Shane. Gotta rub that a whole bunch of times. People wanted to see that. So, yeah, you guys can continue to send me your questions for the Q&A. So I might have time for another one today before the premiere tonight. We'll see. So send it to me, whatever you guys got. So first, yeah, I'll be doing some other character spotlights coming up pretty soon. I definitely want to do one on Abraham. I already did one on Glenn. It's in the channel if you want to check it out. Just type in Glenn in the search tool and you'll find it. And that one turned out pretty good. This one's like a Q&A, but I'll just quickly give my thoughts on the character of Simon. So we had Adam Sterling who said, Q&A, when Negan asked Simon for a pen, Simon looked a little disgusted about what just happened. Do you think Simon could be redeemable? Personally, I love the character. So this is one, I wanted to do a character spotlight on Simon probably before this season actually even started, because I think he is a fantastic addition to the series and to the cast. Stephen Oak, if you guys don't know, he actually did try out, he auditioned for Negan, and he didn't get it, but with The Walking Dead, they're really good about that. When someone auditions for a role, say at Norman Reedus auditions for Merle, and he doesn't get the part, if they really like Norman Reedus, they're like, you know what, how about Merle has a brother, and his name's Daryl, and then we can use Norman Reedus for Daryl, and that's what they did. In this case, we have the opposite happening with a villain. Stephen Oak auditioned for Negan, didn't get it, but they were like, you know what, he's really funny though, and he actually fits like a glove with the Saviors, because if you look at Simon, and even Stephen Oak too, you know, he's got the look for a savior, right? He's kind of got the, he's got kind of the lighter side too. You could see how he could actually be a pretty good choice for Negan. Maybe not as good as Jeffrey Dean Morgan because of the look, but in terms of his personality, he can do the darker stuff. He can do the comedy. So I think it's a really good choice that they turned him into Negan's right-hand man instead of someone like Dwight, because if you look at Dwight, would Dwight be Negan's right-hand man? No, because if you think of season 6, Dwight had left and then somehow ended up back with the Saviors, either by choice, like AMC's website says, which I always thought was weird. Maybe that's just a miswrite or typo or something. Or by being captured possibly by Wade or one of these other people that were looking for Dwight and then brought him back. So who is Negan going to trust to be his right-hand man? Is he going to trust someone like Dwight who has just betrayed him and tried to leave? Or is he going to trust somebody like Simon? I mean, it makes perfect sense that you would go for sure with Simon. So one of the quotes from the Wikia is for Simon to Rick. He says, think about it. What if it's the last day on Earth for you, for someone you love? What if that's true? Maybe you should be extra nice to those people in that RV, because you never know. Just like that, be kind to each other, like you said, like it was your last day on Earth. Simon is an antagonist and a survivor of the outbreak in AMC's The Walking Dead. He is a high-ranking member. I put him as number 2. Number 2 to Negan only. In the Saviors, who serves Negan as his right-hand man, he serves as the TRE antagonist for the second half of Season 6 and 7. Tertiary, I think, yeah. So really cool stuff. So we don't know anything about his character prior to the zombie apocalypse yet. Hopefully we'll get to find out something about him now. He's one of Negan's lieutenants alongside Paula, Wade, Bud, and eventually Dwight. But we know, of course, now Bud is dead because Daryl blew him up with a rocket launcher. And Dwight is not to be trusted too well, so it looks like Wade is up there too. And you have Simon as Negan's number 2. Also, we see, and I believe it's episode 5 coming up. It could be it could be a different one, but I think it's 5, where Simon will be leading an attack against the Hilltop colony and punishing them for something. Now, people have been speculating about what that is. Could it be that he's punishing them for helping out Rick's group and giving them food? And, then Rick's group, of course, the survivors attacked Negan and killed a whole bunch of the guys at the satellite outpost there. Or could it be that maybe the pigs, the sick pigs that the Saviors took, a whole bunch of people got sick from them, and because they ate the walkers and the guts, tainted meat and everything, and maybe the people think that it could have been the Hilltop or something. We'll see what happens specifically. I would tend to think it'd probably be after what happened last season. Season 6 is probably what they're punishing them for, but who knows? It's possible that they get a lot of their food from the Hilltop, maybe just a little bit from the kingdom, and they are not able to figure out what it is that's caused everybody to get sick. So all in all, I'm very excited to see what they do with Simon this season. I think Stephen Ogg is absolutely hilarious. If any of you guys have played Grand Theft Auto, I think it's 5, GTA V, right? Grand Theft Auto 5. Then you'll know he's really funny. He was in Better Call Saul. And Stephen Ogg is hilarious. So I'm really excited to see, and I think they could not have chose a better person to create a role in this type of series, of course, for AMC. They already know him from Better Call Saul, and he's done all kinds of other stuff too. He was actually in Westworlds too. He's all over the place. So he's really funny. He's great, and I think he's a perfect choice for number 2 for Negan is Simon. Excellent. Next one's from Daniel Jordan, and he says, "Why the haircut, Trev? Why did I go in, Shane? I just the hair was so long, man, and it was just so annoying, and my head was like so way down that it was just too much to manage, and like I'm filming all the time, and like trying to deal with it after work and stuff. I have to shower all the time and then let it dry, and so it's just I can't deal with it. It's too much. When it was shorter and it was black and it looked more like Negan for the parodies and stuff, it made sense. But once it got longer, it was like it doesn't make sense anymore. So I just got rid of it as I usually do. Cygarniczka says, Trev, do you think if Rick would surrender to Negan right away, he would have been more lenient? So I do think that Negan would have been more lenient had the group have surrendered, but it wouldn't be just Rick. It would have had to be everybody, including Daryl and everyone else, and then maybe they would have gotten away with just Abraham having been killed. Next one's from James Paul, and he says, Trev, you're neglecting Z Nation with a sad face. Sorry, James Paul. Walking Dead, man. Walking Dead's what it's all about. I'll probably do some more reviews for Z Nation. It's actually been really, really good this season. Really like what they're doing with Murphy. It's awesome. They've turned him into a villain, and it's great. And I might get back to it. I'm going to try, because I watch it every week, but I don't always do the reviews. This week's episode sucked, but last week's episode was fantastic. So I'll let you know if I get back to it, and we'll continue with Z Nation reviews. I'm not dropping it. It's just that so much stuff going on right now that I haven't had time to fit in the reviews for Z Nation. Next one's from the Dawsman 1998. He says, pretty sure rewatching No Way Out, they digitally removed that car in the distance right before the explosion for Netflix and the BlueRay versions. Thumb this up so Trev can see. I don't know if that's true. Somebody verify right in the comments below. Check out the No Way Out on the Blu-ray or Netflix. I think I have the DVD version, and tell me whether or not they edited out the car in the background who was supposed to be the spotter for Bud when Daryl smokes him. So with the rocket launcher. So let me know what you guys think, and if that's true. Someone confirm for me. I'd appreciate it. Ver1 says, Q&A, Trev, do you think Enid has been a spy for Negan all this time? Guys, I don't know where this came from. So I could understand if Negan was a spy maybe for the Wolves, but for Negan, I just don't. I don't see it. I mean, that'd be pretty surprising. I don't think so at all. I don't think there's enough there. Some people think she poisoned Maggie or something. I don't know. I don't know where this came from, but I don't think the same. I just don't see that. We'll see. I mean, could be wrong, but I don't think so. L.A. Adcock says, Trev, remember the virus of the prison? It was right after they cooked and ate pig. I could be remembering it wrong. No, you're right. It was supposed to be some kind of flu, but you're right. It did come into play after they had cooked and eaten a pig. So could we see something similar with the Saviors? That would probably help with lowering their numbers. So that would be cool. So we'll see. Demon Knight 124 says, all right, what's going on, Trev? Guys, back again. Thanks, man. You guys are the best. It's always good to see you guys. AJ Unlimited says, hey, Trev, was just wondering how Daryl was able to punch Negan without feeling excruciating pain. Which hand did he punch him with? He gets out, and is it a right or is it left? I forget. Without feeling excruciating pain. He punched him with the same arm he got shot in. I know there was probably a lot of adrenaline playing into it as a factor, but that still should have hurt like a bitch. Well, it probably did, but if you watch mixed martial arts or you watch almost any kind of fighting, guys do get hurt, and with enough adrenaline, there's some instances where your body can seize. Like if you damage your spine or something, you can seize to the point where you can't move. Like your body will be paralyzed, right? But a lot of times, even if something happens, to your hand, like if you for example, guys will break their knuckles. Sometimes their knuckles will come through their skin, or something will happen. It will separate, and sometimes they can still fight with the adrenaline. So it depends. It depends on how bad it is, right? It depends on how bad the break is. It depends on how bad, his shoulder's injured. Even if the muscle tissue was damaged, maybe he could still kind of use the force and throw it somehow. So when you see something like that happening with that amount of adrenaline, it would take a lot of pain to shut you down. A lot, like a broken leg or a broken arm. Like if your arm was broken in half. Okay, if your arm was broken, like one of the bones was like clean fractured, clean cut across, then obviously you couldn't. But something like that, you might be able to. Depends on the situation. But it would have hurt too, yeah. But adrenaline can make you come through even if something happens and you're bleeding or whatever. Fight or flight, response. A couple more. Angus Johnson says, hey, Trev, Q&A, how will Ezekiel, Rick, Maggie, or Gregory get their communities ready for all-out war? I know it's a long way off, but just thought it would be interesting to ask. So, actually, we'll wrap up with this one, since this one is a really good one. So for Angus, yeah, it's probably a ways off right now, I think. I think they're really going to dive into and really spend some time and focus on the characters, focus on how they feel first being under Negan's thumb, what it's like to live being oppressed like that, and having a huge tax of like 50% of everything, being taxed 50% and having to bend the knee to someone like Negan. What it's going to be like to live under that for a while, maybe the whole season 7 will be focused on that. And then once they realize that it's not going to work and that they're either starving or they're not going to survive, having to give half to Negan all the time, or Negan, is not trustworthy, maybe he just starts killing them off without any reason, just because he feels like it, then Rick and the others will feel like they have no choice. They have to fight back or they'll eventually be killed too at the hands of Negan. So I'm thinking it'll probably come out of necessity once they show us in the show how oppressive it is and how they can't really live long term like that. So then they'll try to kind of get together, organize. Maybe Morgan and Carol will introduce Rick to Ezekiel. They'll kind of discuss the saviors. They'll discuss a plan. Jesus will get involved and he'll discuss a plan. Gregory's a loser, so whatever, who cares about him? But they'll all kind of get together and then they'll find a way. Plus, if the saviors get sick, if the pig thing turns out to work and some of them start getting sick and start dying, it could dwindle their numbers down, and then we could see them get a little bit weaker, the others join together, and then fight back in season 8 or maybe season 9. We'll see how it all works out. And we'll do one last one from Beastie. Everything 01 says, The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones are great, but Breaking Bad will always be king. And that's a tough one, man. I mean, Breaking Bad, I definitely miss Breaking Bad. It's an amazing series. It was so great. But for me, I think both The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, at least for me as a viewer, have passed Breaking Bad at this point. Both of them have, I think. But those three are probably my 3 favorite series of all time. In whichever order you put them in, those are my top 3 for sure. And I do miss Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul is fun, but it's more like a comedy. I don't think it'll ever reclaim the greatness that was Breaking Bad. I just don't see it. So anyway, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. If you liked it, as usual, like it, thumb it up. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you want to go full in Shane, subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys again, of course, tonight. Maybe have another Q&A before tonight for you guys. So we'll see. And I'll see you guys soon. As always, it's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you. Words, Quinn.
You can rate, you can comment, you can subscribe. Hell, you'll all be doing that.
Nice. You had that prep, didn't you? You knew you were going to do that.
You have to use that
Perfect.
outro now.
Now I got to use it every time. I got to reshoot it with a new bat. All right, that's it, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.